And by the way, I also lost my father when I was young, so I'm
Hmm.
kind of
Sorry
curious
about
how.
that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry too, bro. You were younger than me. I turned 17, and like a week after that, I
Oh
lost
yeah.
my dad. But how did you lose your mom?
So me, out of my brothers and sisters, I'm the only one. Like, it's crazy. This is another crazy story. I'm the only one that don't know. My brothers and sisters know. I'm the only one that
Mm,
don't know. And like, I don't know. I have this, like, I'm a stubborn person, so I have this thing that I told myself a long time ago to move forward. Because what used to happen is my sister used to always, like, we're all older now, so my sister, every time she got into some shit, when we're like young adults or whatever, she'll like be crying out like for my mom, like she'll using us as an excuse, like,
mm,
oh mom, and like trying to get the sorrow, bro. So I didn't like that. So when I was older than her, obviously, so I was older, so I already had made a promise to myself to like just let it go, don't find out, don't even care. It's not that I forget my mom. I love my mom and everything, but it's just like it's the same thing that happened with my friend. It's gonna help me move forward. The more I was like dwelling on it and thinking about it, I see what she was doing too. Because anytime things didn't go my way, it was easy to turn to that, like, that crybaby mode, because we already felt that pain of our mom passing away. And it's the same thing that happened with my boy Kyle. And like you said, we're gonna get into that later when we
yeah,
talk about what I found out. But yeah,
right.
if I could have just took that experience, like now I'm adding things up. See, you feel me? And like I'm onto something. Like I found that feeling, and I was like, is this what I'm feeling? Is this what I'm feeling? And I saw who's the girl? Who's the girl that just retired? Angela Lee just retired, man. And I read her story,
Yeah,
and she's young. Of course, she can keep going and everything. But when I sat there, man, I was like, she's right, bro. Like she was right on that. Like, man, when something bad happens to you like that, the drive is diminished, bro. It's like it really is. Like you think you have the drive. Like that's the thing about the mind. Everything with the mind takes time. Sometimes you think, oh, you could just get this done, or oh, you could just get that done now. Or you could just forget about this or forget about that. Your body, like, is more smarter than the way you think. Like it has time before it lets things go, or even take things in. You know what I mean? So,
100%.
man, yeah. So some people think like, oh, they could just be over this in a day. Like they don't understand this. That already has a time frame. So
Yeah,
I'm understanding like things have time frames. So you know, at this age, I guess is when you get to sit down with yourself. Like me, I'm very experienced with myself. I was telling my brother the other day, like my brother always had girlfriends and and stuff like that, or his girlfriend, and then I'm like, bro, you never even stayed by yourself more than me. You know what I mean? And you're older than me. Like you either stayed with me, we stayed with the family, or you stay with your girlfriend. Like being by yourself is like I've stayed with my girlfriend and stuff here too, but like I've been by myself completely the whole time after high school, staying by
hmm,
myself in my own house, and like you get a lot of time with yourself. You get to be on a level like people never been to this level before. I'm telling you, because a lot of
I
people
live by
stay with their
myself, by the
family.
way, so I relate. But continue.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? A lot of people
yeah,
never
yeah.
been to this kind of thinking level we go to, you know what I mean? So, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, bro. And then, that was happening to me too. Put a lot of pressure on yourself because like what you go through, and you deal with a lot of things on your own, staying by yourself. It's not like all glamorous like people think. Oh, you stay by yourself, you got your own house, or you got all this in your house. It's not all glamorous. Like imagine all your sicknesses you got to go through by yourself. When COVID hit, you're going through all that situation by yourself. You catch COVID, you go through all that by yourself, which you have to.
There, you're good.
Sorry about that. You
No,
go
you're
out
good.
and even if you're young and you go out and party with your friends and you get too drunk, you come home, you're all by yourself. So there's a lot of things that dwells in your mind, staying by yourself, man. It's healthy. It's very healthy. Everyone should experience it. A lot of people never stay by themselves, so we can't expect some people to have that like thought process like we have. You know what I mean? They just
Right.
don't have it because they always got someone next to them that they're talking to. So the situation that they're talking about is like about the two minds together or the three minds together in the room want to talk about. But when you're by yourself, you talk to yourself, and it's
Yeah.
a that's a different ball game. You know what I mean? That's a different level up.
Yeah, so did you almost like not process your mom's passing when you were young and until you were
No,
older
no,
and by
no. When I
yourself?
when I went to the I won't say it like that. Like I remember going to the funeral and everything. I was the only one crying. I was going crazy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very soft-hearted person. And I remember, man, I was 9 years old only. I was young, so um, it's not about not processing it. I always process it. I know what happened. Like, especially now, I'm very in tune with everything. But it's just like for me to get over it and move forward in my life, I felt like some things gotta be not like it's not ignored. It's just some things gotta be like put on the back burner so you can move forward or use it to get stronger instead of getting weaker. I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
use it to get weaker. Like I've seen my sister and them like use it to like cover up for their mistakes. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, it's probably hard to explain, but I've seen them like
No, I get
something go
it.
bad or things are not going right, and then they want to like bring that up and start crying because they're a little bit younger than me and all that. I learned from them, like, nah, you gotta be strong and you're gonna get through all this. So, put it in the back burner. Like, even when my friend passed away and I kept bringing him up, the more I was bringing him up, the more it was like eating me up. Like I said, we stay by ourselves, so it's really eating you up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's really eating you up when you stay by yourself. So the more I'll bring him up, the more I'll post about him. You're seeing it, you're bringing him up, you're reflecting it upon yourself, and it was just eating you up. Sometimes you have to just, let them rest too. That's what I call it. I like let them rest now. You're selfish. Like you're over here crying, because you want that person back. You want to be with that person right now. That's you. That's me. So you gotta let them rest. You gotta let it be what it is. You didn't forget about them, but
Yeah.
you can't you can't slow yourself down because of it. But you are gonna be slowed no matter what for the time
Yeah.
frame that it takes, like we talked about. So yeah, we're all getting older. We're all getting smarter. Some
Right.
things you gotta just go through it. Some things you gotta just bite the bullet and then come back another day smarter. A lot of things in
Yeah.
life are like that. Um, Me as a mixed martial artist, I'm a first generation mixed martial artist. My dad never did mixed martial arts, no one. So I'm the one sitting here going through all these mistakes. When I have
Yeah.
some kids and some grandkids or my brother's kids, those guys are gonna be real good. Like I'm just, figuring everything out, trial and error, and still pushing through it.
You're doing a
So,
pretty
I
good job
know,
too.
yeah,
First
and I do a
generation,
lot of
yeah.
yeah, and I do a lot of training by myself too, man. A lot of my training by myself. So yeah, especially when COVID hit, man, people didn't understand. Like I was a COVID reject to the UFC. I was a COVID reject. That's what I call it. Like the people that got called last minute because of COVID. I
Yeah.
call us COVID rejects. So yeah, I was a COVID reject, bro, and I still I outlasted the guy who I covered in the UFC. I outlasted the guy I beat on my debut. So, there was some promising things there too. Um, the only thing that I feel that happened, man, is that situation, man. I ended up losing my friend on the third fight. 3 weight cuts, 3 weight cuts, 5 opponents, lost my friend. That was a lot, man. After that, the body, the mind just couldn't recover. It just took time to recover. I shouldn't have been out there fighting. Like I said, it takes trial and error. You think you could just go out there and fight it off. I said that you can't fight it off. Like it's in you. You're a zombie, bro. Like no matter how much you want to fight, you're a zombie. The fire's not the same. Um, my boy was my best friend. He was my number one training partner. He was yin and yang. We were yin and yang. Like when we train with each other, man. Like Xtreme. We've been Xtreme Couture. They seen us spar. They seen us go at it. They know how we spar. They know how we get down, and they know that was my boy, and they know it got wild when we went at it. And so that was really like my number one day one training partner I lost. So
Dang. You guys met in Guam and
we
came all
met
the
in
way out to
Guam,
Extreme
yeah.
Couture?
Yeah. So he moved out to Vegas and he was training at Extreme Couture for a couple of years. So when I visit, I will go Drysdale and Extreme Couture back and forth.
Mm.
But yeah, we're sparring all the time. Like when I get in town, pick me up at the airport, it's all excited. Yeah. And
Yeah.
he's full time MMA. Our whole careers, we fought mini cards over here. We fought in Russia together and in Australia together. You know, he was my number one training partner.
What was
Like
his
number
name?
one, bro. Kyle Rages, Kyle Boom Rages,
Okay, Kyle Boom Rages.
Rages. Yes,
Okay. Wow, so you guys
he's
actually
the
fought together too. What happened?
So he got bicep surgery in Vegas, and they messed up on the surgery, and he passed away, bro. It was not even anything crazy. It was
Wow.
it was it was retarded, bro. It was a freak act. It was, bro. He was just about to drop me food, bro, in the bubble in the UFC. He was on his way to drop me food. He's like, I just got home from my surgery. I'm gonna drop you food. I'm like, no, don't even drop me food. You just got surgery, you know. And he's like, no, I'm good. It went well. That was my last message from him. And then the next thing you know, the next morning he's in a coma, bro. So that was
So he made
crazy,
it out
bro.
of surgery, but there was like a
Uh-huh.
complication after?
Yep. There was a complication. Yep.
Wow.
That's that's the one all those extreme guys are shouting out. Like it's been 2 years now.
Uh-huh.
So all those extreme couture guys, they're all really close with Kyle too. They're all been shouting him out since it happened. That's the guy, you know, my boy
Oh,
Kyle.
wow.
That was my number one training partner, bro, on Guam all the way through. We
You
started
basically
together.
introduced him to all those guys.
I know,
Or
I
you
the
guys met
extreme
them
couture guys.
together?
No, actually, he moved to Vegas on his own. I
Oh,
already was, so we both stayed on Guam, and I used to travel a lot already, like I do now. So I have been to Extreme Couture already many times, but he actually moved to Vegas and Arizona, and I said, bro, go to. I remember when I told him move to Vegas, bro, move to Vegas. So he moved to Vegas. Then he started going back and forth from Drysdale to Extreme Couture, Drysdale
okay.
to Extreme Couture. So, but he had already been there for like 5 years now, bro. 4 years, you know what I mean?
So
Five
he
years
introduced
training at
you.
Extreme. Oh, to Extreme Couture?
Yeah. Kind of?
No,
No.
I already have been there, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he was my boy. Yeah, yeah, I will go there for him. You know what I mean? I will
Right.
go there for him, and I know everybody else there. I love Coach Eric. All those guys, they're already always really good to me. But you know, I went there for my boy Booman because he was there and he had good energy. He was a people's person. He was like so funny, bro. Cracks jokes. Everyone over there love him. You know, and he's a monster too. You know, he'll fuck you up. You know what I mean? He'll
Yeah.
go after you, but he's a funny guy. You know, everybody knows my boy Kyle's a funny guy. They all love him. They got like posters on the wall, a little plaque of him because they know he was like a real one. You know, like he was the training partner to have. Like this guy will be asking like, damn, Ige and those guys for sparring to help them with their camp. Like this guy's like that. Like, hey, I want to help you with your camp. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know. So can you give me 1 second? I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, he's the kind of guy like that that'll be asking for to help people with their camps. You know, he don't care, don't want to get paid, nothing. He just want to be involved. He want to check his level, man. Such a good guy. So yeah, man, we all miss my boy Kyle. Everyone, I know those guys miss him over there too.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Kyle, man. I'm sorry for your
Hmm.
loss.